Good morning. God, please bless all of these beautiful people. Lord, please help them to be safe today. Please help them to have fantastic days, Lord. Thank you, God, for blessing us with this time together, and please help it to be impactful, Lord. Please help me to speak what you would like me to say and to help these people through some of the challenges that's going on in their life and to help me to get through my challenges too. Yeah, that's right, guys. You don't realize how meaningful and impactful you are in my life. And I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you that are here today. You guys are such an amazing blessing to me. It definitely works both ways. You might feel like you're sitting on the other side of the computer screen, just listening to me. But I promise you, that it's much deeper than that. That those of you that are here watching, liking these videos, commenting, and just being a part of the infinite crypto community, man, you're changing lives. You guys are what inspires me. I know that a lot of you are praying for me outside of the show, which I appreciate each and every one of your prayers. Man, I can use every prayer that I can get. And I am just excited for those of you that really, if I didn't put the title of this video up until kind of the last second, but the title of this video is The Power of I Am. And so, folks, if you've been struggling a little bit in life, if you've been having trouble in your finances or in your relationships or just in general, in any area of your life, today I want to share with you the power of I Am and give you some real tactical, strategic stuff that you can do to make a 180 in your life in a lot of areas of your life. So today's video, don't quote me on this. Today's video isn't going to be one of the longest videos that I've ever done, that's for sure. I've got a handful of things that I want to talk about, but I want to get through them and give you guys some incredible information that you can take out with you and really put into play very quickly. So what in the world is the power of I Am? Well, folks, I wanted to get ChatGPT's input on this, and so I pulled this up. You can see here, I just typed in the power of I Am. And right here, the power of I Am is a profound concept rooted in both spiritual and psychological truth. I love that, folks. Like, I love principles that are rooted in spiritual and psychological truths. Like, I like principles that are godly, that are spiritual, but that also are real world. That, theoretically speaking, this is one of those principles that you can use whether you believe in God or not. And that's not to say that I don't care if you believe in God. Like, I want you guys to believe in God and to love God and to have a relationship with God and to see how life-changing and profound that can be. But if you're one of those people that really doesn't like the God message and that doesn't, that you're here, but you could care less about, what I have to say about God, this is still an important message for you guys. Because kind of like the law of gravity, whether you're a Christian or whether you're not, the law of gravity applies to us both equally. And in a lot of ways, the power of I Am is very powerful in your life, whether you are spiritual or not. It centers around the idea that whenever you place the words I am, or whatever you place after the words I am, it becomes a declaration over your life, shaping your identity, beliefs, and ultimately your reality. Guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, words are powerful. And what you speak out of your mouth has a massive determining factor on what is happening in your life. And I can almost guarantee, I knew this was going to happen. I had one dog that wouldn't come inside. And literally, here we are. What, two minutes into the stream, and now he's outside barking. And I swear to goodness, I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I know to me it's just the devil really trying to interrupt an important point. On that note, he's going to drive me crazy if I don't let him in. So give me 10 seconds here. Don't you guys dare click out of the video. I'll be right back. Never mind. He wasn't even outside. I don't know why he was barking. Will you shut up? Why are you barking? So I am becomes a declaration over your life, shaping your identity, beliefs, and ultimately your reality. And what I was starting to say, folks, is your words are maybe more important than you believe. I will almost guarantee you, if you're having trouble financially, you're speaking that over your life without even being consciously aware of it. You're saying stuff like, man, I'd love to go on that vacation, but I can't afford it. Oh man, that ribeye steak at the grocery store, man, I'd love to eat that ribeye tonight, but we just don't have enough money for that. We better go just get some ground hamburger. And you don't even realize it, but multiple times, probably per day, you are not only thinking lack, but you're professing lack into your life with that statement, I am. And it happens even to me. I'm diligent and I'm working hard to quit saying stuff like, man, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm broke. If you're somebody that over the 4th of July weekend, some of your friends had some amazing plans. And if you said something to your friends like, sorry, I can't do that. I'm broke. Sorry, I can't do that. I can't afford it. Sorry, I can't do that. I don't have enough money. All of those things that you just said, even though in the moment they might be true, are ultimately what's keeping you broke. And a lot of times people will turn off the radio when I start talking about this, because when I tell you that it's just as simple as changing your words just a little bit and you will change your financial life, people don't want to believe it. Because if it was that easy, why don't more people do it? Well, I'll tell you why. Number one, most people aren't learning what you guys are hearing today. Most people have never heard it and might never hear it. Like, guys, the fact that you are on here watching this video today separates you from about 95 to 99% of the population. I have somebody in my life that is going through some extremely tough financial situations. I'm doing the best that I can to help them. And I literally, over the last couple of weeks, have sent them about 3 or 4 different YouTube videos that I believe if they were to watch them and to employ some of the things that were said in those videos would help them immensely. And guess what? They didn't watch them. And that's probably a different story for a different day. But I'll just say that sometimes the people that need your help the worst are the ones that won't help themselves. They won't do anything on their own. And in order to save your life energy for the people that will do, what you are asking them to do and that will take the help, you got to stay away from the people that just suck you dry. And there's nothing worse than somebody that's going through life miserably and you've got the answer and you reach your hand down and you're trying to help them and they won't grab your hand. They won't do something as simple as turn off the TV for a few minutes and watch a YouTube video like this one instead of watching Netflix. But that's a different point for a different day. But I'm here to tell you the reason that most people don't do it is because they don't even know about it. The other reason is because they believe it's too simple to be true. If it was that simple, more people would be doing it. It can't be that easy, Brad. And then the third thing, though, is it does take work. It's simple, but it's not easy. Because if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, you've been saying stuff like, I can't afford it your whole life. You've been saying, man, I'm broke. Man, I wish I had more money. Man, I wish I could buy that steak, but I'm going to get the ground beef. Like every time we go to a restaurant, one of the hardest things to do in the restaurant, I ask you the next time you go to a restaurant, to do your absolute best to not look at the prices on the menu. Just look at the menu and order what you want to eat. But 99% of the population doesn't do that. You are probably one of the 99. I have been one of the 99, and I still catch myself sometimes being one of the 99 that reads the menu from right to left. What does that mean? Well, that means you pull out the menu and you look over here on the right-hand side of the menu where all of the prices are. You find something that is in the price range that you're comfortable with. Then you scan back over to the left side of the menu to see if it's actually something that you would enjoy eating. That's a poverty mindset. It's a broke mindset. But it's what most people do and what we've been taught. I mean, I remember being a kid, and you guys probably do. Have any of you ever been a kid? You're like 8 years old, and you're like, oh, man, the ribeye sounds really good, Dad. And your dad says, no, man, the ribeye is $32. I'm not buying an 8-year-old a $32 ribeye. So go take a look at the sandwich section. And then you go over, you're like, okay, Dad, how about a cheeseburger and fries? And Dad says, well, yeah, that's $14.99. Yeah, let's do that. And Dad didn't even realize it in the moment, but he was programming your subconscious mind to think in lack. Most of us that think in lack were trained that way by parents that were trained that way by parents that were trained that way by parents that were trained that way by parents. Because a lot of us never had anybody break the bondage of poverty in their life. And when I say poverty, I don't care if you're making $25,000 a year, $2,000 a year, or $2 million a year. There's still people that are making $2 million a year that have a poverty mindset, that are spending $3 million, that are going into debt, that are on the way to bankruptcy. So the amount of money that you make doesn't have to determine whether you have an abundant mindset or not. So let's get back to this power of I am. I am becomes a declaration over your life, shaping your identity, beliefs, and ultimately your reality. So instead of, and once again, I got to drive this point home, your current reality doesn't have anything to do with the words that you choose to use. So let me give you an example. You got $12 in your bank account and you got $150 worth of bills coming due tomorrow. And your buddy says, hey, Brad, do you want to go do blah, blah, blah with me today? There's a huge difference between me telling my buddy, man, I'm sorry, I can't afford that. Man, I'm broke. I ain't got any money. And me saying, hey, I appreciate the offer. And the next time you ask me, I'm definitely going to take you up on that. And then you say something along the lines to yourself as you're walking away from that conversation, I am getting wealthier and wealthier every day. I am going to be able to afford to do that activity with my friend the next time they ask. Hey, Dad, can I have that $32 ribeye? You don't say, hey, son, sorry, we're too broke. We can't afford the $32 ribeye. You say, hey, son, do me a favor, grab a hamburger this time. The next time we come in, man, we're going to be able to get you that ribeye. And then you tell yourself, I am growing wealthier and wealthier every day. I am. And you quit using, I am broke. I can't afford it. You quit using negative poverty mindset words when you're talking to yourself. There's a lot of people that are going to talk to you, but nobody in your life is more important than you. In fact, I just bought a book that I'm super, super excited to be reading that is titled What to Say When You Are Talking to Yourself. So, my opinion, one of the fastest ways that you can change your financial situation is to start writing down some of the things that you say negatively so that you're aware of them. Some of you say these things so routinely that you don't even realize you're saying them. It's like that person, we all know that person that drops the F-bomb about, 3 or 4 times a sentence, but they don't even realize if you say something like, man, do you realize you just used the F-bomb like 8 times in the last 15 seconds? And they're like, huh? What are you talking about? Like, they just say it. They're so used to saying it. It doesn't even register on their radar. You're so used, all your friends, say, like, how many times have you had that? Yeah, man, I'd love to go on that cruise, but we're broke. And your friend says, yeah, me and the missus, we're broke too. And then your coworker steps in and says, yeah, my wife and I are struggling. We're broke. And like, y'all have a little broke pity party, the 3 or 4 or 5 of you that are there, all talking about how broke you are. Before you know it, you got people like, yeah, man, I was at the grocery store yesterday and the price of groceries is so much, I had to buy my family a bunch of ramen. I can't afford meat anymore because of inflation. And the next thing you know, like, you almost have like a little contest on who can be the brokest and who can tell the most miserable story. I know that we've all been there, and I'm here to tell you that, yes, it's just as simple as changing that to how can I afford it? How can I afford it is a very powerful term that will help you be rich. I can't afford it is a poverty broke mindset that will keep you poor. How in the world is it possible that one little tiny word change, I can't afford it, versus how can I afford it? How is it possible that can make the whole difference in your financial life? Well, I'm telling you, because your subconscious mind is the most powerful computer in the world. And when you say, I cannot afford it, your subconscious mind is there to prove you right. Your subconscious mind doesn't care whether you say you can or can't. It just is there to prove you right. So when you say you can't afford it, your subconscious mind starts giving you reasons why you're right. Yeah, you're not that smart. You're never going to make that much money. Nobody in your family's ever been rich. Like, all of a sudden, your subconscious mind is going to feed you 10 different reasons why you can't afford it and why you'll never be able to afford it. On the same note, guys, this most powerful computer in the world, when you point it in the right direction and you say, how can I afford it? When you say, how can I afford it? You turn on to creativity in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind will start giving you ideas on how you can afford it. Like, it might sound simple, but like, if you want that $32 ribeye, your subconscious mind might tell you something like, well, you're spending $20 a month on Netflix and $10 a month on Hulu. If you cut out all of that, the Netflix and the Hulu, now you could have the ribeye once a month. Now, is that a good solution? I don't know if that's a good solution or not. For some of you, it's probably a great solution. There's a lot of you that could probably use to cancel your Netflix and Hulu subscriptions and quit watching TV. But once again, that's another topic for another day. My point is, that's a huge step in the right direction. And even though that might not be the answer, the more you play with it and the more creative you help your mind be, the more you ask, how can I afford it? The next day, it might tell you, hey, you were watching that YouTube video last week, and then you got that guy that takes off on Saturday mornings, and he hits every garage sale that he can hit, for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours on Saturday, picking up a bunch of bargains. And then on Saturday night, he lists them on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and he sells them and makes himself an extra couple $100 on the weekend. And you think to yourself, well, man, if I could make even $50 on the weekend, I could have that ribeye once a week and still have $15 left over. Now you're talking. And so I am is important. I am wealthy. And even if you can't say I am wealthy and believe it because your current circumstances don't say that that's true, then just say I am on the way to being wealthy. I am on the path to financial freedom. I am on the road to massive financial success. If you can't say it as it's present, present is the most powerful, because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. Like, for instance, there's a beach over in the Exuma, Bahamas that I love, and there's these turtles there. And these turtles will swim right up to you, and it's the most amazing, it's one of the most incredible experiences that I've ever had in my whole life. I can literally close my eyes and imagine being there, and I get this big smile on my face, and my body starts to tingle, like, because it was such a amazing time in my life. And I can create those emotions by just imagining the experience. I don't actually have to be in the Bahamas in the water with the turtles in order to experience the emotions. Something else, like all of you have probably tasted a lemon. What do you do when you taste a lemon? You pucker up. There's some of you, like I'm talking about right now, I want you to imagine sticking a lemon in your mouth and biting down on it. It's near impossible to smile big while you're thinking about that. Like your face starts to pucker like this automatically, just thinking about it. Your subconscious mind is powerful, guys, and they don't teach you this in school. You probably didn't have parents when you were 7 years old and you said, oh, I'm never going to be good at baseball. I suck. You probably didn't have parents that understood how horrible it was that you would talk to yourself like that. How many of you, when you were young, ever said something like, man, I'm so ugly, or man, I'm so fat, man, my teeth are crooked, man, I hate my hair, oh, I've got big Dumbo ears? Like all of these things that you said, most people, like if you'd have had a parent when you were 7 years old that said, Brad, I don't ever want to hear you say that you suck and that you'll never be good at that. It's, for one, it ain't true. And for two, it doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you. It's not even like it's not true. But even if it were true, if you believed it wasn't, you would have a heck of a lot better chance of it not being true. You know, there's a lot of people in this world that create a lot of wealth and create a lot of success that are delusional. Like seriously, for those of you that live in the United States, who out of you, I mean, like seriously, who here would have looked at Danny DeVito and said, hey, yeah, man, this little 4'10" overweight, uglier than ugly guy is going to have an absolutely amazing acting career? Who would have said that? Nobody. Like seriously, I love the guy. I love him. I love him. I love him. He's incredible. But like you look at him, and you are not going to tell him when he's 8 years old, 12 years old, 16 years old, he's like, I'm going to be an actor. Dude, even for me, as positive as I am, it would take every fiber of my being to not tell him, are you kidding me, man? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Danny. You are not going to be an actor, dude. You're 4'10". You're uglier than ugly. I mean, like, seriously, bro. I mean, like maybe you could get a job acting in a horror movie and you could be the troll. Like seriously, guys, there's a lot of athletes out there and people. Look at Spud Webb. You know, Spud Webb, 5'5" basketball player, dunk a basketball like as well as most 6'+ guys. 5'5", made it to the NBA, had an incredible NBA career. Nobody thought when he was 4 feet tall at 12 years old that he was going to be a professional basketball player. So if people would have told him it was impossible and he would have believed it, we'd never even know his name. So number one, the lies that you tell yourself when you say I'm broke, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I can't do it, I'm not smart enough, it's all a bunch of baloney. It's all a bunch of crap. And it's not true, and you got to quit saying it. So number one strategy, write down all of the things that you say that you shouldn't be saying. And you might not even remember all of them right now. Be aware of it later today when you're somewhere and somebody asks you, hey, do you want a blah, blah, blah? And you start to say, I can't afford it, or I'm broke, or whatever you might say that you shouldn't be saying, and have your notebook handy or type it into your phone. I want you to come up with a list of things that you say on a regular basis that you shouldn't say, even if they're true in the moment. And then I want you to start replacing them with things that you should say. I can't afford it turns into how can I afford it? How can I afford it? Man, the wife wants to go to Ireland, later this year. How can I afford it? Well, one of the ways that I might be able to afford it is if I can figure out a way to talk to my boss and get a little bit of overtime. And if I could just make an extra $50 a week and I could invest $200 a month into a good cryptocurrency, well, let me see here. July, August, September, October, November, That's $1,000. If I can get a 10x on that $1,000, that would be an extra $10,000. And I think my wife and I could go to Ireland in December if we had an extra 10 grand. Boom. That's the kind of stuff that I want you thinking about. Is that a good solution? Maybe, maybe not. But it's a heck of a lot better than just saying I can't afford it, telling your wife, oh, that's a pipe dream. We're never going to Ireland. So, guys, the quality of your life is going to be determined by the quality of your thoughts and the quality of your words, and especially the words that you speak to yourself. So, I am is powerful. And if you've never heard this, the power of I am, then I'm glad you are listening today. The spiritual meaning in the Bible, when Moses asked God for his name, God replied, I am who I am. This wasn't just a name. It was a statement of divine self-existent power. When you say I am, you are invoking that same creative authority, aligning yourself either with truth and life or with negativity and limitation. Guys, I hope you can see my screen. That's worth reading 100 times. I am who I am. This wasn't just a name. It was a statement of divine self-existent power. When you say I am, you are invoking that same creative authority. And this is the most important part, guys. Listen to this. Aligning yourself with either truth and life or with negativity and limitation. Which do you want to be? You want to be the guy going through life with truth and life, or do you want to go through it with negativity and limitation? Here's some practical things, practical psychological power. Your subconscious mind listens carefully. Once again, your subconscious mind listens carefully to the statements you make about yourself. Repeating, I am not enough, I am a failure, or I am stuck, programs your mind to act accordingly. On the flip side, I am strong, I am favored, I am healthy, I am chosen. These affirmations shift your mindset and attract situations that match that belief. Attract situations that match that belief. Guys, when you meet somebody that feels like they've got that golden touch, everything they do turns into a pot of gold. Everything's positive. They get the beautiful lady or the amazing husband. They seem like they've got this incredible career. Their kids are awesome. It's not by accident most of the time. They have this positive expectation. They attract it into their life. Let me give you a scenario. Imagine that you are in a room with people, and unbeknownst to you, there's 5 or 10 multimillionaires in the room, and then there's a bunch of just, regular average folks. And let's just say that you're in a little conversation, and one of these millionaires is sitting there, and you are talking about how broke you are. Maybe like you were at like a convention, and maybe let's say that they were selling something, on stage, some kind of a self-help program, some kind of a business course, some type of a real estate, how to buy and invest in real estate. You're sitting there and you're talking with a little group of people and you're being negative. Your subconscious mind has the best of you. And you're saying stuff like, man, I can't afford that course. That'd be awesome. That'd probably change my life, but I can't afford it. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to afford, a real estate course like that. Blah, 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 blah. And this man is sitting there that has the ability to help you, that if he were to mentor you, take you under his wing, he could totally revolutionize your life. But he hears that stuff, that garbage coming out of your mouth. Guess what that does? That is going to repel successful people. They're going to want to get away from you. They are going to make excuses. They're going to say, hey, it was good meeting you. I got to go to the bathroom, grab a drink of water before the session resumes. But what if you're sitting there and man, that is an amazing program. I wonder how I can afford that. Like things, right now, I'm not exactly sure how, but I'm going to make it happen. I wonder, wonder what I could do. And this guy says something like, well, hey, have you ever thought about the fact that you could go find a deal? Like in real estate, you can find a deal and you don't need any of your own money. Did you guys know that? This ain't a real estate course, but you can find a deal. So let's say that you were able to find a house and the market value for that house was $250,000. But for some reason, maybe the parents passed away and the kids inherited the house and they live on the other side of the country and they just want out from underneath it. And the house needs a little tender love and care. So maybe they're willing to sell the house for $200,000. If you got a broke poverty mindset, you say to yourself, well, I can't do that. I don't have the good credit. I don't have the down payment. I don't. And you miss out on the opportunity. If you're a positive mindset guy, like if I don't care what it is, whether it's a house, a car, a yacht, a boat, a piece of land, I don't care if it's a Pokemon card. If somebody came to me and said, man, I got this $250,000 Pokemon card and I'm willing to sell it for $200,000, I would be finding me somebody that wanted to buy the Pokemon card for $225,000, and I'd be connecting them. And they'd be paying this guy $200,000. They'd be paying me $25,000, and they'd be getting a Pokemon card worth $250,000 that was only $25,000. That's the difference between a poverty mindset and an abundance mindset. So you and I are talking to this guy. You've got the negative, crummy, I can't afford it, blah, 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 blah. Woe is me. I'm a victim. And I'm talking about like, man, how can I afford it? I'm going to figure this out. How can I afford it? The guy waits for you to walk away, and then he says, hey, Brad, if you're serious and you really want to learn this and you really want to be able to afford this course, I can show you how to go find some deals. And if you find the deal, I've got the money. Because guess what else, folks, that I realized in my life? If you can find deals, there are people that have the money. Finding the money is the easy part. There's a lot of people out there that got a lot of money that are looking for ways to invest it. Finding the deals, they don't have all day long every day to go search for deals. They love to hire people to go find a deal, and then all they got to do is use their money, because rich people value their time more than their money. Rich people don't care about making more money if it takes up a bunch of their time and it takes away from their family life and the quality of their life. They realize that time is precious. It's limited. It's running out on all of us. They would much rather pay somebody to go find the deal and just put up the money. So it's never hard to find money if you find the right deal. I mean, seriously, like, in crypto, it really wouldn't happen. But for instance, let's just say, one way that it could happen. Let's say that somebody's got $100,000 worth of Polkadot and they got it staked and they need money yesterday, like really badly. And so they came to you and they said, hey, I've got this $100,000 worth of Polkadot, but it's staked and I can't withdraw it from Coinbase for 30 days. And I'm willing, man, I need $60,000 really bad. I need 60,000 like bad. I will sell you this Polkadot for $60,000. It's worth 100 in 30 days. You could find somebody that's got the 100 and you could probably offer them, hey, if you come up with the $60,000, you come up with $60,000 in 30 days, I'll pay you back 70 or 80. I'm just telling you, there's ways if your mindset is right. If you are thinking properly, you are going to attract opportunities. So this person that you think has the Midas touch and everything turns to gold for them, the only reason is they are a problem solver. And when an opportunity comes across their path that seemingly feels like it's not really an opportunity because they don't have the money, they don't know the person that's interested. Like, I don't know anybody that will pay $250,000 for a Pokemon card. But I guarantee you, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I've got this Pokemon card, it's worth $250,000 and I'm willing to sell it for $200,000. I guarantee you it wouldn't take me very long to find somebody that was interested in Pokemon cards and to find somebody that did know somebody and to find somebody that would buy that Pokemon card. So the people that are successful and that you wish you were like, and you just think that there's something special, they're lucky, they just, everything just falls into their lap. It's because of their mindset, guys. I can't stress this enough. If you are saying the wrong things, whether you're thinking them, and especially if you say them out loud, like all of us have thoughts that come into our minds that don't serve us. But man, if you say that out loud, like if you're at a restaurant and you look at the menu and you see something that looks incredible and you say in your mind, you think to yourself, I can't afford that. That's bad. But if you speak it out loud, it's 10 times as bad. Now, what I want you to start doing is I'm not telling you you're going to be Superman and that I can't afford it thought's never going to come into your mind, that it's never going to cross your consciousness. But what I want you to do is I want you to be aware of it. And when that thought hits your mind, I want you to start being like, how can I afford it? Yeah, maybe your conscious mind's right. I can't afford it right now, but how can I afford it? How can I afford this next time I come to this restaurant? How can I afford the Mercedes-Benz that I want to buy? How can I move my family? We got, now I've got 3 kids and this little 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that I had 10 years ago that was great ain't big enough. How can I move my family into a 4 or 5-bedroom home? How can I afford it? How can I afford it? How can I afford it? And guys, I know I'm drilling this into your head, but man, this is, so powerful. Other examples of empowering I am statements. I am blessed and highly favored. How many of you go through life saying, man, I'm the unluckiest person in the world. Nothing good ever happens to me. Switch that up, and all of a sudden, I am blessed and highly favored. I am fearless and full of faith. How many of you have not become successful yet because fear is holding you back? Fear of what other people are thinking. Fear of failure. Fear of, man, what if I strike out on my own and I fail and I'm not able to pay my bills? What if I really screw up bad and my business flops and my spouse decides to leave me? What if fear? What if you were to replace that fear with fearlessness and faith? What would you be able to accomplish if you quit being afraid to try? I am aligned with my purpose. Folks, that's something that gives me incredible peace and is actually part of the reason why I believe I am becoming more and more powerful. I'm aligned with my purpose. I'm aligned with my purpose, and it gives me peace. It also gives me boldness, because guess what? I love you guys, but I don't care if you unsubscribe from the channel. I don't care if every single one of you says, I'm tired of you talking about God. I'm out. I'm done. Because guess what? God is my provider. And if God wants me talking about the things I'm talking about, he's going to bless that, and he's going to bring the right viewers to me. One of my mentors, a guy that I am basically spending a lot of money to be a part of his program called the Kingdom Creator. He went from 1,000 subscribers on his YouTube to 1 million subscribers in 1 year because he started living his purpose and got in alignment with what God wanted him to be doing, and God blessed him immensely. And that's how I am. Get aligned with your purpose, man. If you know in your heart that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you know in your heart that you're living outside of God's will for your life, that you still got 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in Christianity, that maybe you're a pretty honest person, but you're still doing some things unscrupulously. Maybe you're a pretty honest person. Like maybe you would never go bonk somebody over the head and take their wallet. Maybe you would never go break into somebody's house. But if you're the kind of person where you're walking down the street, 10 steps behind somebody and they drop a $20 bill out of their pocket, and you're the type of person that says, oh man, this is my lucky day, and you pick up the 20 and you put it in your pocket rather than grabbing it and running, catching up with the person and telling them, man, you dropped this $20 bill. Maybe you're the type of person that won't bonk somebody over the head, but say you're at the Safeway and you give the checker $100 bill and they give you back $20 too much in change. You smile to yourself and think, oh man, I got over on the grocery store today, and you pocket that $20 bill. Maybe you're the type of person that you look at the receipt as you're out at your car. You're out at your car, already paid for the groceries, you're out at your car, and you realize that they didn't charge you for that $5 case of water. If you're the type of person that smiles and thinks, oh, that's awesome, man, I just got me a free $5 case of water, and you load that water up into your car and you go driving off, I'm telling you, that's poverty mindset. You're not going to get to where you want to be in life. 1,000 out of 1,000 times, if somebody gives me the wrong change, I'm giving it back to them. And if I get out to my car, I've had times where I got all the way home before I realized that the grocery store didn't charge me for something, and I went all the way back to the store and paid them. And guys, I'm going to tell you, it's not because I'm some wonderful, amazing, beautiful human being. I do think I'm a pretty good human, but you know why? From a selfish standpoint, I knew if I kept those groceries, if I kept that case of water, it was going to hurt me down the road. You sow, you reap what you sow. And if I'm sowing a poverty mindset where I'm stealing a $20 bill from somebody that dropped a $20 bill on the street, now don't get me wrong, if I'm walking down the street and there's a $20 bill there and there's nobody around and I have no idea who dropped the $20 bill, I'm going to pick up the $20 bill and say, thank you, God, for blessing me with this $20 bill. But I guarantee you, if I know who dropped the $20 bill, they're getting it back. If I know that the person gave me back too much change at the grocery store, they're getting it back. If I get home and I realize that they didn't ring up something that I was supposed to pay for, I'm giving it back. And part of that is selfish. I'm man enough to admit it. I don't want to go through the pain of having to pay that back from something crummy happening in my life. I would much rather go back to the store and pay for the item and have good things coming into my life because I sowed honesty and integrity and I sowed good things into my life. So it's not just because I'm some wonderful person, guys. I'm not. I tell you this every single time I get on this God tangent. I am a sinner. I'm a sinner. I say things that I wish I hadn't said to my wife. I say things that I wish I hadn't said to my kids. My employees, man, I've got, a gentleman named William that works for me that I think half the time he loves me and half the time he absolutely hates me. He probably thinks I'm the worst boss in the world. And I'm working on it. I'm not that bad of a boss, but sometimes it might seem hard for you guys to believe, but sometimes I can come off pretty harsh, pretty critical. Like I want things done and I just don't understand sometimes like why we're having this disconnect. I use profanity more than I wish I should. I have times where my eyes wander more than I wish I should. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Man, we're human. Like we're guys. Girls are going to walk by and we're going to see them and we're going to start to think thoughts that we shouldn't be thinking because that is our sister in Christ. And if you're married or you have a significant other, it says right in the Bible that to look at a woman with lust in your heart is adultery. You don't actually have to go physically commit the act of adultery with that woman to have committed it in your heart. And in God's mind, it's the same sin. It's not as bad because obviously if you follow through and commit the adultery, that is definitely worse. But God tells you in the Bible, if your eyes are causing you to lust, to scratch them out. Like you're better to go through life blind than to go through life sinning all the time by looking on women with lust. One, like I said, that's your sister in Christ. How would you treat that person if they were your sister? How would you want other people to treat them if they were your sister? And then also too, like I want people when they meet my wife, I want people to say, man, that woman is lucky that she has this incredible man, Brad Varnell, in her life. Like, I want them to feel like she's lucky. I don't want them to be feeling sorry for her. Like, I have people like that. I've got friends in my life. I don't know how I got on this, but I got a buddy that looks at every girl that walks by, man. And he doesn't just look, he leers. And he's not a real close friend. He was a friend of mine when I was young. I don't spend much time with him anymore. But like, even when we're out, like there was a time we're in Las Vegas and me and my wife and him and the girl he was dating at the time, we're walking through the casino, and dude, he would look at these girls just blatant. And I felt so sorry for the girl that he was with. I was like, how embarrassing, how, man, she must really feel like crap. And I thought to myself, man, why would this guy, if he cares about this woman at all, do that at all, but much less do it blatantly to where she knows he's doing it? Once again, guys, another thought for another day, but I'm telling you, your thoughts are powerful. So when I look at a woman and I start to feel any type of lust, I try to divert my attention and get it onto something godly, something positive. I don't want to look at that woman that's not my wife with lust. I don't want to imagine myself doing things with that woman that I shouldn't be doing, because I love my wife with all of my heart and soul, and I want to respect her. One of the things, just a little, this is for all of you guys out there, if you haven't thought about this, if you want to avoid temptation, one of the best things that you can do is let everybody know you're married immediately, especially with women. So if I'm at a Starbucks and I happen to hear somebody, talking in front of me, and they're a real estate agent and they're a woman, and especially if they're an attractive woman, and I want to meet this person because I want their business card, because I think they would be a good person to know. When I ask that person, I say, hey, I heard that you were talking about real estate. You're a real estate agent. I would love to get your card. My wife and I. Like, the first thing that I do when I create a conversation with any woman that doesn't know me is my wife and I. I'm at the Dutch Bros, and girl comes walking out to take my order. And especially like if I get any sense at all that maybe they're interested at all in me, but whether they are or not, one of the first things that they say like, do you want your rewards card, or do you have rewards, your phone number? I say, yeah, my wife's phone number is. I don't have to say my wife's phone number is. I could just give them my phone number. But I make it very clear to everybody whose paths I cross, especially women, that I'm married. So if I ever come across a woman that just can't resist this beautiful bald head of mine, and this guy's a YouTuber, and man, I like him, they're going to know, and they know from the way that I say it. I don't say, yeah, my wife's phone number, my ball and chain's phone number is, blah, 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 man. I say, yeah, my wife's phone number is, or yeah, my wife and I are looking for a house, or yeah, my wife and I would love to go on that vacation. You're a travel agent? Obviously. Awesome. Let me get my information. I'll have my wife reach out to you. Like, guys, this is mostly for you guys, but you can do it. Same thing, women. You, especially as a woman, you're going to have guys hitting on you all the time because we're guys. So one of the best things that you can do as a woman, if you want men to respect your men, like I think it's important I want a woman, if she meets my wife, to go, man, you have an awesome husband. She's probably not going to tell my wife, yeah, your husband mentioned you in the first 10 seconds of our conversation, and I could tell by the way he talked about you that he loves you with all of his heart. And if I had any intention to possibly, do anything, to try to get closer to your husband, he immediately made it very clear, without ever even being obvious about it, that I was wasting my time. It's even more important, guys, for women, for you to do that for your guys. You don't know how powerful it is if a guy walks up to you and he's talking to you and you say, oh yeah, that's awesome, man. Let me get your phone number. My husband would be really interested. I had a girl the other day come up and ask me about my Infinite Agape project. But the first thing that she did was say, let me get your phone number and I'll have my husband call you. And I can't tell you the amount of respect that created. So even if she had no intention of no ulterior motives, wasn't interested in me at all. If she would have just said, yeah, that sounds great, let me get your phone number, and then I would have found out later on that she was married, I wouldn't have had the same respect and admiration for her as I did with her telling me, yeah, my husband's into crypto, let me get your phone number so he can call you. So and ladies, we're prideful. We want our women to love and respect us, and we want the guys that are around us to know that our woman loves and respects us, and they basically don't have a chance. Like if we're out at a 4th of July gathering, I guarantee you that any guy there would know very quickly he's got no chance of getting with her. Where how that is, there's some women out there that like to flirt because they like the attention. So even though they have no intention of following through on the flirting, they do the flirting because they like the attention. But I'm telling you, that's a bad thing, and it's not good for your relationship. And I'm so far off the path, it's unbelievable right now. But maybe there's somebody here on this video that needed to hear that. Like if you are a man or a woman, start respecting your wife or husband or significant other by making sure that people know about them, especially when you're talking to strangers from the opposite sex. Holy smokes, it's 56 after? Let's go back here to the chat button. Chat, guys, a little bit. I appreciate you. I didn't have a real good chance to say good morning. So for those of you that have stuck with me, I want to say good morning to Tulsa King, Donnie T, Vanish, thank you for being here. Let's go XRP. Dave P, Roger the Alien, Sir Crypto the Third, Zda, Feeling Whitney, good morning. John Lopez, thank you for being here. Tim G, good afternoon, my friend. Good afternoon. Hope you are doing fantastic. We got Freddie in the house, and it's not a Brad stream without dogs. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? They've been pretty good. Hey, Dave, thank you for reminding everybody to hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button. Mr. Pablo Noodles, my friend, God bless you. I hope you are doing great. Man, I don't know if you've had a chance to see the relationship that is being developed with me and Keith from Crypto Bullseye, but he's over in the UK. I don't know if you guys are anywhere near each other, but man, if you guys are anywhere in the same vicinity, you should definitely connect, man. He is awesome. He came in, he owns $777 worth of AGAPE. He's nominated his first project. And so definitely we have a great interview. And then he's done some great videos lately. In fact, he's got a video on Polkadot that I really am looking forward to watching. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it. And then I've been sharing some of his videos in our Telegram group. But it's so good to see you, Pablo. Man, I hope that you and your family are doing well. I love you, brother. Zda says, this is one of your best videos, Brad. Hey, thank you very much. You know, I ain't going to lie. Sometimes on these Mondays, I get a little nervous because I'm talking about stuff that is not necessarily very popular in the world, and it doesn't necessarily go over with everybody and everything. And that's why I said, where I'm at peace because I'm aligned with my purpose, and I'm at peace because I believe that I'm aligned with God and that I'm trying to do God's will in my life. And as long as I do that, God will take care of everything else. But these Mondays can be a little uncomfortable sometimes. So it means a lot to me that you say that. Those words of encouragement, just like I said in the beginning, you guys don't realize how much you impact my life and how much you improve the quality of my life. So thank you very much for being here. And there she is. There's the Mrs. Deanna Varnell. Hey, I love you, babe. Thank you for being on the stream this morning. I appreciate you and I love you so much. Yeah, everybody, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you are in here for the first time, appreciate you being here. The bald head is a puller for me. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, when I wear a hat, when I wear like a baseball cap, I probably look about 10 years younger than I did when I had all of that hair And then Mr. Ladd Lewis, thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. So the last thing that it says here is when you speak I am with faith, you're not just affirming yourself, you're aligning with how God sees you. You are agreeing with heaven. Man, that's a powerful point. I haven't even read that. I mean, I pulled this up through Chat GPT and I saw the top of it and I liked it. But man, that is so powerful. When you speak I am with faith, you're not just affirming yourself, you're aligning with how God sees you. You're agreeing with heaven. Remember, guys, God made you in his image. He made you perfect. I'll say that again for those of you in the back of the room. God made you perfect. God sees your specialness. God made you powerful. He gave you everything. God says you are enough, so you are. You are enough because God says so. And when you say, I am incredible, I am amazing, I am growing my wealth, I am growing my freedom, I am becoming the best dad in the world, I am becoming the best husband in the world, I am enough. You're just agreeing with everything that God has said about you. That's powerful. When you speak, I am with faith, you're not just affirming yourself, you're aligning with how God sees you. You are agreeing with heaven. I like that. I like to be in agreement with heaven. I don't know about you guys. I like to be in agreement with heaven. So guys, what an incredible hour we just got to spend together. I love each and every one of you. And so I'm just going to wrap this up and let you guys know, hey, if you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ and there's something in your heart that's yearning for more, you don't know what it is. Maybe this relationship with Jesus sounds crazy to you. You know, it sounds radical. You're not sure, but you know that things aren't working in your life the way that they are right now. You realize that what you've been doing ain't cutting it. You're not happy. You feel something is missing. Guys, there's nothing more powerful in this world than accepting Jesus Christ into your life and believing that he was the Son of God and that he came to this earth and died on the cross for our sins, for your sins. He loved us so much that he was willing to die for our sins. And, you know, I'm going to pull this up here real quick because I think it's powerful as I go through this message. But in the Telegram group the other day, we were in the Telegram group the other day, we were, golly, where am I at here? Let me, come on. I came across this little meme and I thought it was powerful. Ponder how valuable your soul must be for Satan to tirelessly pursue it. Ponder how valuable your soul must be for Satan to tirelessly pursue it, and the king to lay down his own life for it. So if you're sitting there and you would like to know more about this Jesus guy that I talk about, that you would like to know more about what having a personal relationship with Jesus is all about, I'm here. Please DM me. You can reach out to me on Telegram. You can reach out to me on Discord. You can reach out to me on my X account. DM me if you've got questions. And especially DM me if you want to accept Jesus Christ into your life. I will help you say the prayer and to invite him into your life and help you with a couple of extra steps. Once you've accepted Christ into your life, what's next? What do you do from there? And I will help put you on the path if that's something that you want to do, folks. And then last but not least, once again, I am... Say hallelujah, dogs. Heard me preaching the message. They're getting excited. So, guys, the Bible study. I'm getting ready to start a Bible study. I went through all of the modules, everything. It's not really like a certification, but I went through some training with the Wealthy Kingdom and really learned a lot about their principles and the agenda and how to run through and do this Bible study the way that they would like it to be done. So very, very soon, it might even be announced this week, I'm going to be starting a virtual Bible study that's on Zoom. It's going to go about an hour and a half. It's going to be one day a week. I'm going to pick a day and a time. I understand it's not going to work for everybody. I can't accommodate everybody. So if it doesn't work for you, then it probably wasn't meant to be. Or maybe God will reach out to you and say, hey, maybe you need to rearrange your life a little bit so that this does work for you. I don't know. But if you are feeling led to be a part of this Bible study, of this weekly small group where we get together, it's going to be all men. So women, I apologize. This, Wealthy Kingdom, it's all men's group and all women's groups. If you're a woman that wants to be a part of a small group, reach out to me. I can connect you. And in fact, I believe my wife is going to also lead a women's group. So if you're a woman and you would like to be involved in this women's group that my wife is going to be leading, we can make that happen. But for you guys out there, if you're interested in maybe connecting and being a part of this small group, where we all deepen our relationship with God, we're entrepreneurials. The Wealthy Kingdom is an entrepreneurial Christian organization. So if you're here and you're a cryptocurrency investor, that's being entrepreneurial. So even if you work a 9 to 5, you're entrepreneurial. And even if you don't think you're entrepreneurial, but someday you'd like to leave your 9 to 5, you're entrepreneurial. So basically everybody, but in general, we're going to be talking about money and family and God, and we're bringing it all together. Part of my journey is to be the best Christian entrepreneur that I can be, not to necessarily forget about my entrepreneurship and just be a Christian. I think God loves it when we combine the two. So if that's something that you're interested in, yeah, my wife is going to be starting one. So for you ladies out there, you guys let me know and I will get you in touch with my wife. And it's going to be incredible. So if any of you want to be a part of that Bible study, reach out to me and DM me. We'll make it happen. With that, man, I love you all so much. My heart is so full. My heart is so full. So many people wake up on Monday mornings dreading Monday because they got to go back to work, back to the grind, back to the life that they hate. I wake up and I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful that it's Monday morning because I get to spend this hour with some of my favoriteest people on the planet. I love you guys so much. I hope today blessed you as much as it blessed me, man. I am coming out of here just God-filled. The Holy Spirit is strong. I'm excited to take on life. I am that I am. Guys, go out, be powerful, be I am today. God bless you. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow on the Tuesday Trader live stream, welcoming back special guest Crypto Bullseye. Keith is going to be with us going over the charts. So be here again tomorrow. We're going to start a few minutes later than normal to accommodate his schedule. So we're either going to start at about 9:10 or 9:15 instead of 9, or I'm just going to talk for 15 minutes until he shows up. You'll be able to see the notification on YouTube. But sometime between 9 and 9:15 tomorrow, him and I are going to do an incredible Trader Tuesday live stream. Until then, be blessed by the best. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.